Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. Happy Thursday to you. We're taking a look here at TWT. All right, this is a good one. Trust Wallet. We actually looked at this yesterday, as a matter of fact, and it almost hit our little alert here at about 8.56, and it bounced right off there and kept going. So missed our long, but I think there's a good short opportunity on the horizon here, and we're going to talk about that and much more. So if you're new to the channel, I'm not a financial advisor. I truly do love teaching people to trade. Hope you can learn something here today. If you want to become, part of a trading community, jumping over to our Discord. We have some awesome traders over here. A really cool situation where we all learn and grow together and just have a lot of fun. So it's a good environment. A lot of good resources here for you too. Thank you again, Chef, for posting this crypto calendar. I think I might pin that or post that to our channel. And if you want to become part of our premium group, of course, there are trade signals that I send out. We took 82% short from Lever recently. That is about 2.5 days. And Gala, we took 22% in 4 hours. Those are our most recent signals, but I typically average 1 or 2 signals per day, somewhere in the range about 30 to 40 signals per month. But again, check that out. Link down below if you're interested in jumping on over there. It's a highly profitable, awesome situation. So what we want to look at here with this coin, Trust Wallet, is kind of what the next steps might be. Now, if I recall correctly, when I highlighted on my Twitter and Telegram and Discord recently, we were looking for the price to either pull back to these levels here, 0.382. That's where the price should have bounced, but it came really close, right? And now it's continuing higher. So there's a lot of liquidity at the $1 mark, like I kind of mentioned here. I think that's what we wanted to look at, and we want to focus on that. So I think there's a good chance we could see one last sweep up here to grab this liquidity and then pull back. The reason why we think that is because there is some buy side liquidity here based on fair value gaps, as well as just the simple fact that it's very common for high to be retested and to inevitably break there to squeeze out any type of shorts that are in that position. So keep in mind, there's a good chance we'll see this price come back up here, or this was the sweep here already to grab that liquidity. One way or the other, this most recent high was absolutely swept, and that's a very common characteristic. Let's take a quick look here at TD Sequential, kind of jump around. We're going to be jumping around rather, but we want to look at some standard stuff here. We don't have any massive overextension. I know what you're saying to yourself, but there's a massive overextension right here. This guy's shot up really hard, which is true. Of course, we went up over 70 on the RSI at that point, and the bottom line here is, though, that the money flow index is still very high. As we continue to build that volume profile, the price is more likely to sustain itself. We are now officially above this volume profile too, this most recent amount of volume, and that leads us to believe that should be a new support level. Okay, so if you're going to be shorting, extremely careful with your shorts. Make sure they are close profit targets to ensure you get filled. Okay, and I would recommend low position size, low leverage. That's kind of what common theme is here in our community to ensure that we take profits. Because again, these kind of trades here, they're 5x leverage. I only recommend 5 to 10% of your portfolio at any given time. But again, there's a lot of good profits to be taken. You just got to be able to sustain those massive candle wicks. And a lot of times when you have too tight of a profit target, or no, correction, too large of a leverage amount or position size, you'll get liquidated and the price turns right back around. So frustrating. So again, I prefer to kind of swing trade differently. Some folks are all about the glory and this massive trade. I'd much rather take a consistent 20 to 80% profit day in and day out instead of having to risk too much. No need to risk the biscuit, right? Okay, so let's actually work our way down. I think I prefaced the heck out of this here. Let's just go ahead and just do our standard indicators and make sure we understand what's going on here, because the basics are very important. We're up over 70 on the RSI. So this is a starting point here to kind of let you know that the truth is when you're up over 70 on the RSI, it's usually not a sell signal. I know it sounds crazy and weird, but typically hitting 70 on the RSI is a consideration to sell your position. But once you pass that, there's a great chance the price will continue further from there. Okay? So we're already in that further point. We're also here where we have 2 green candles, and there could very well be a 3rd green candle to fulfill our 3 white soldiers pattern. Okay, so I'm not saying that's a guarantee by any stretch, but things do happen in threes a lot of times, and we could very well see that. That being said, money flow index is also very high, so big surprise, more money flowing in. The price is sustaining itself above this volume profile here at that higher price range, and it's just one of those things where we're starting to build a lot more volume at this 88 to 92 cent range. Okay, so that does imply that the 88 to 92 cent range is a good support level. Okay, now it could very well surpass that or come down lower. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of fair value to be had here. I just think it's a little premature to expect the price to drop right now. I think it's going to probably continue higher. before it does. Okay, so I think $1 would make a lot more sense first before it pulls back. So I'm going to set an alert personally here, right around the $1 mark, just so I can kind of reevaluate when it comes to that level, if it were to. Again, there's no guarantees, could very well just drop from here, but I'd much rather wait for a good opportunity and miss it than jump in early and essentially just not find a good position, get liquidated or something along those lines. There's a good chance this could very well continue higher. You gotta recognize that. Coins like this are interesting. They totally behave opposite of what you expect them to do. And until they sweep that extra amount of liquidity, which we will see at that $1 mark, there's a good chance it'll probably continue higher. Okay. Again, statistical probabilities, that's all there is to it. So once more, overextended, yes, but not crazy overextended. Taking a look at the moving averages, we can see this overextension leading or reaching right into that 200-day SMA. So that's an initial rejection spot. So there is truth that could have been the top initially. What I mean by that is there's a chance we might see like a handle pattern form where the price will retest inevitably and then break through. But the truth is here, the 200-day SMA is typically an initial rejection spot, and a lot of times you'll see the price action kind of do that. And we haven't been above the 200-day SMA since March of this year. So you got to recognize it's a long time coming. The first attempt is not always a successful one. Okay. So looking at the 4-hour, let's quickly double check. Once again, we don't have a massive overextension here. While we are overextended, it's nothing crazy out of the ordinary. This is a fairly healthy continuation where the price spiked up, pulled back, and bounced off a key level Fibonacci retracement right there at 0.5, right there. As I mentioned yesterday in my tweet, about 86 cents was a good bouncing point. That's what was it? I think our right there about 85 to 87. We were expecting the price to bounce off that, and that was based on Elliott wave theory. Now, Elliott wave theory has updated since because, of course, we created a higher high, and that does kind of reflect that. So just to note here, in case you're kind of curious what the new levels are, we are looking at an approximate of about the lowest of about 83 cents, 85, and 88. So my speculation is the price does pull back. 88 cents would be a decent bouncing point because we had a lot of volume at that range. So again, just a consideration there. So to me, I'd personally wait for an overextension to the upside or the downside before I take entry. I don't like these areas in which we're in right now. I think it's too late to take a long personally. And based on the volume and volatility, it's probably not a good idea to short either. So I know it's not what you're looking to hear because you want to know when the good opportunities are, but to me, it's all about patience. And I'm okay with missing opportunities as long as I find a good one that I'm prepared for and it's what I'm looking for. Okay. Again, patience is key in this industry. Really difficult to teach. As I know, I teach that in all my Trading Academy videos, of course. But the truth is, not everyone's receptive to it, right? And you do have to have a certain temperament to do well in this industry. Okay, so last thing we want to look at would be the Ichimoku cloud. This is kind of one of those considerations that's good and bad at the same time. What I mean by that is the cloud gives us 3 different indications, right? We got the lagging span. When the price action intersects with it, it really just implies that you don't want to consider a long position. It just basically means that the price action is continuing too far up. And while it's fairly overextended, not extremely overextended, probability of pullback is higher. We also have a conversion line, which is above the baseline. That's a positive sign that tells us we have good momentum. And we also are trending above the cloud, okay? So truth is, this is more positive than negative, but it does imply that we could be coming closer to the end of this run, okay? So in truth, we're in good shape here. Everything's looking pretty fantastic. I do still think that $1 would be much more likely to hit than somewhere in the 80-cent range. So I'm going to be waiting again patiently for that entry target. Could totally miss it. It's perfectly fine. But I think a correction is due for this coin, but I think it's a little too early, a little premature for that. One last thing to note here, there is a lot of fair value. Just keep this in mind. We have swept this buy-side liquidity already for the most part. So if the price does pull back, again, these different levels will be common. You can see 0.382, 0.5, and 0.618. All 3 of those would fill this fair value gap here that is already in place. Okay. So just know there's some decent value left on the table here, and the price will definitely come back down at some point. But I think we're going to see $1 hit first. That's just my speculation. Let me know if you have different thoughts. Comment below, like, subscribe, follow, of course, if you haven't already. Greatly appreciate your support. Thanks again to all our community members, and congrats again to our profits there for our premium members. It's really awesome to be kind of part of this. So jump on over. We got a lot of new members coming over here to our Discord. Thank you again so much for everything. We'll look forward to working with you guys. Hope you have a great rest of the day. We'll see you on the next one. Take care.